Jasmine. Today I learned Abigail.
Welcome to arithmetic. We're going to start with our 4 multiplication family. Girls are going to start, then boys will echo. Girls stand. 0 times 4. Together begin. 0 times 4 equals 0. 1 times 4 equals 4. 2 times 4 equals 8. 3 times 4 equals 12. 4 times 4 equals 15. 5 times 4 equals 20. 6 times 4 equals 24. 7 times 4 equals 28. 8 times 4 equals 32. 9 times 4 equals 36. 10 times 4 equals 40. 11 times 4 equals 44. 12 times 4 equals 48. Excellent teamwork, girls. We're going to continue with the same pattern with our 4 division family, except this time, boys, you're starting. So boys stand. 0 divided by 4. Together begin. 0 divided by 4 equals 0. 4 divided by 4 equals 1. 8 divided by 4 equals 2. 12 divided by 4 equals 3. 16 divided by 4 equals 4. 20 divided by 4 equals 5. 24 divided by 4 equals 6. 28 divided by 4 equals 7. 32 divided by 4 equals 8. 36 divided by 4 equals 9. 40 divided by 4 equals 10. 44 divided by 4 equals 11. 48 divided by 4 equals 12. Excellent teamwork that time, gentlemen. Well done. We're going to continue with our group of facts. I'm going to point to a fact and you give me the answer. We're going to go around our classroom, a contest between the girls and the boys. Students watching, you be ready to give me these fast answers correctly as well. And then I would like Jackson, scorekeeper at number 1 at the sideboard, Madison, scorekeeper at number 2 at the sideboard, and we're going to start with Presley and Cadence. Give me the answer of the fact that I point to.
11.
Good. Cadence gets that first point. Next 2. So Jacob and Una. Tie. Both teams a point. Next 2.
18.
Girls. Next 2.
8.
Boys. Next 2.
14.
Girls. Next 2. So Dev and Morgan.
12.
Boys. Next 2. Good. Carly and Caden.
14.
Boys. Next 2. So Kathleen and Josh.
15.
Boys. Next 2. Amaya and Presley.
9.
Boys. Next 2. So Anna and Jacob.
17.
Boys. Next 2.
12.
Girls. Next 2. So Cadence and Carson.
15.
Girls. Next 2. Una and Aiden.
15.
15. Boys. Adriana and Dev.
12.
Girls. Next 2.
14.
Boys were here faster. Tyra and Josh.
15.
Tie. Both teams a point. Next 2. And Presley.
11.
Girls. Next 2. So Carly and Jacob.
13.
Boys. Next 2. Arthur.
12.
12. Boys were here faster. Carson and Amaya. Last one.
13.
Boys. So we're going to pause right there. Let's get a quick score count. We have 13 for the boys, and it looks like 9 for the girls. We're going to go on to subtraction now to see which team continues to be faster, the girls or the boys. So next boy is Aiden, and next girl is Lexi.
5.
5 is the correct answer. Let's go back and get Anna and Dev. Anna and Dev.
1.
Boys. Next 2. So Caden and then Cadence.
9.
Tie, both teams a point. Josh and Una.
5.
Students watching? Anyone? Dev?
9.
9 is correct. Boys have that. Adriana and Presley.
5.
Girls, next to Jacob and Emily.
8.
Boys, next to Arthur and Tyra.
9.
Boys, next to Morgan and Carson.
3.
Boys, we're here faster.
5.
Girls, next to Dev and Kathleen.
8.
Boys, next to Amaya and Caden.
7.
Boys, next to Josh and Anna.
5.
Boys, next to, this will be our last one, Presley and Lexi. Students watching?
8.
Anyone? Arthur?
8.
It is 8. Time was up, so boys have that point. Let's take a look at our scores. 5, 10, 15, 23 for the boys, and it looks like 13 for the girls. Boys, you may give yourself a pat on the back. Well done. Good accuracy with your facts today. I want you to listen carefully to the next few facts that I say. Be ready to pop when I call either the girls team or the boys team as we think through several of our rapid calculation facts. 6 divided by 3 times 4 equals boys. Caden?
8.
8 is right. 10 plus 4 minus 6 times 3 equals girls. Tyra? Emily? 24 is right. 9 minus 7 times 3 plus 5 equals students watching. Anyone? Cadence?
11.
Wow, fast thinking. 6 divided by 2 times 7 plus 3 equals boys. Caden?
9.
Carson?
7.
Anyone? Dev?
10.
Morgan?
13.
Arthur? Emily?
24.
24 is the correct answer. Students watching, if you said 24, you are correct. 7 plus 3 plus 5 plus 8 plus 6 equals girls. Lexi? Tyra?
19.
Emily?
31.
Anyone? Dev?
26.
Caden?
30.
Carson?
27.
Jackson?
21.
Have a seat. I'll slow it down. 7 plus 3 plus 5 plus 8 plus 6 equals students watching. Anyone? Tyra?
21.
Caden? Emily?
29.
29 is correct. 2 times 4 plus 3 times 3 equals boys. Caden?
22.
Carson?
33.
33 is correct. 14 divided by 2 times 3 plus 4 equals girls. Students watching? Anyone? Tyra?
24.
24 is that what you said? No. Caden?
21.
Carson?
23.
Emily?
14.
I'll slow it down. We'll listen again. 14 divided by 2 times 3 plus 4 equals. Emily?
25.
25 is the correct answer. At this time, we're going to prepare for our speed drill. Prepare for your speed drill. Speed drill positions. We're on lesson 40. You'll have 2 minutes to complete this speed drill. Stop speed drill materials away. Let's take a look at this chart. On this chart, you see the different linear measures length. So the first sentence at the top, 1 inch equals 1 foot equals 12 inches. Let's say that together. Begin. 1 foot equals 12 inches. There you see an inch. So an inch is a small space. A foot would be a lot larger. The next sentence reads 1 yard equals 3 feet. Let's say that together. Begin. 1 yard equals 3 feet. Good. Then the next sentence says 1 yard equals 36 inches. Let's say that together. 1 yard equals 36 inches. So an inch is a small space. A foot would be a little bit larger, and then a yard would be much larger. At the bottom, we see the abbreviations for inch, IN period. foot, FT period, yard, YD period. So if I said show me an inch, you could show me a space like this. Show me an inch. Show me a foot. Now a foot would be take the space between your shoulders and bring it down. So show me a foot, and now show me a yard. All right, hands down. If I were to hold up my clipboard right here, what would I measure my clipboard with? Would I use a ruler or would I use a yardstick? Which one makes sense, Jacob?
Ruler.
A ruler. I would use a ruler to measure this. That's what makes sense. But if I said I wanted to measure my chalk tray, the length of the chalk tray, which one makes sense? The ruler or the yardstick, Carson?
Yardstick.
Good. And you can show me what I would need to measure that. I'm going to call out some more things. You show me, would I need my ruler or would I show my yardstick? If I were going to measure a dollar bill, Emily?
A foot.
A foot or a ruler, that would be what makes sense. What about a pencil? Which instrument would I use, Arthur?
Ruler.
Ruler, right. So you're giving me what I would use. Which one makes sense? Would it make sense to use my ruler to measure it? Or would it make more sense to use my yardstick to measure that instrument? We're going to continue with a couple more things. What about the bathtub? If you needed to fix or repair it, what would you use, Gage? Would I use the ruler or would I use the yardstick? Yes, the yardstick is what makes sense. What about a bicycle? If I needed to know how long it was, Jacob?
Yardstick.
Yardstick is right. What about the basketball goal? Presley?
A yard.
A yardstick is correct. What about if I were going to measure your desktop, the area on top? Tyra?
A foot.
Yes, a ruler would be what I could use to be able to find out what I would need to measure that. Presley, you can go ahead and turn on the lights for us. Now, we're going to take a vote in our classroom of some things that we might enjoy eating for lunch. So, if Mom or whoever was in charge of your lunch decided that you were going to have an option of what you could eat, we're going to vote on it. So the choices are peanut butter and jelly for lunch today, cheese pizza, or a salad. So if you wanted to have peanut butter and jelly, raise your hand today. Oh, there's lots of hands up, hands down. We're going to say that there were 8 people that voted for peanut butter and jelly. Now, one way that I could use to record that would be something called a tally mark. A tally mark we can put into groups of 5. So as I do that, I'm going to count single numbers, and then you're going to see that for number 5, I do something special. To do the number 5, using tally marks, I will write 1, 2, 3, 4, but when I get to the number 5, I cross through the previous 4. So I make a cross just like that. That shows me that's a group of 5. Now, if I said there were 8 people who voted for peanut butter and jelly, I need to keep going because this is the number 5. So then I will write 6, 7, and 8 to represent 8 people who voted for peanut butter and jelly. Now, if you think a slice of pizza would be the best lunch choice, raise your hand. Oh, lots of hands for this one, hands down. Let's say that there were 12 people who voted for this slice of pizza. As I write, you count with me. Ready? Begin. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And I'm going to stop. Did you see what I did for the second group of numbers? When I got to the number 10, I put a slash back through the 4. Then, you see, I can count these in groups of 5. I can count 5, 10, 11, 12 to quickly come up with the answer that I would need to know how many people voted for a slice of cheese pizza. Now, if you would like to eat a salad today, raise your hand. Oh, there's a couple that would like to eat a salad, so hands down. Let's say there were 4 people who voted for a salad. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4. And I wouldn't need to cross through the numbers because I never got to the number 5. Every group of 5, you would make a slash back through those numbers. Now we're going to take the results and put them on what we call a pictograph. A pictograph is a picture or uses pictures to represent the total amount of something else. Let's take a look at this chart. Presley, will you turn off the lights for us? At the top, we have the title of our pictograph, which is our choices for lunch? The first choice was peanut butter and jelly. And there you see a fork pictured beside it. Now go down to the bottom, and it tells us that the fork, each picture represents 2 people. So you're going to count the forks in groups of 2. So listen and watch as I point to them. Each fork represents 2 people. So it would be 2, 4, 6, 8 people who voted for the peanut butter and jelly. Now let's look at our cheese pizza. Each fork represents how many people, class? 2. So count by 2s with me. Let's start here at the first fork. Ready? 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. Good. So according to our tally marks, we did have 12 people who voted for cheese pizza. Now let's look at the salad. You see 2 forks, but how many people voted for the salad, Arthur? 4, because each fork represents 2 people. Now a pictograph helps us see with pictures fast answers or fast results from our voting. Which one had the most votes? Was it the peanut butter and jelly, the cheese pizza, or the salad, Ethan?
Cheese pizza.
Yes, and you can see that one has the most. It has the most pictures. Which one had the fewest number of votes, Caden?
Salad.
Yes, and you can see that quickly because of the number of pictures. One way we were able to get our results for our tally marks very quickly was through counting by 5s. Counting by 5s helps us to get to those answers very quickly. We can count by 5s when we count our time with our minutes. So now I want you to take a look at this next chart. Our next chart is our multiplication chart, putting into groups of 5. We've done that with 5 groups of minutes. Now we've seen we can do it with tally marks. So watch as I count by 5s for the answers. So you just follow along and then we'll say them together. 0, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, 55, 60. Say those with me. Ready? Begin. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, 55, 60. Now, one thing that can help us remember to do that is to hold up your hand like you're raising your hand for a question. You have 5 fingers. So every group of 5, give me a high 5. We're going to start with 5. Ready? 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, 55, 60, and we'll stop at 60. Now, one thing that we're going to do next through our multiplication family, we're going to start 0 times 5, and then we say equals 0. You can give me a high 5 every time we give the answer. So let's start with 0 times 5. Ready? Begin. 0 times 5 equals 0. 1 times 5 equals 5. 2 times 5 equals 10. 3 times 5 equals 15. 4 times 5 equals 20. 5 times 5 equals 25. 6 times 5 equals 30. 7 times 5 equals 35. 8 times 5 equals 40. 9 times 5 equals 45. 10 times 5 equals 50. 11 times 5 equals 55. 12 times 5 equals 60. Good job. Now take out your arithmetic page, put your name at the top. Is correct. So let's look at letter D. 3 groups of 5 dots. So for the third row, now you need to fill in a dot. So put a dot in every, and you can go on to 4 times 5 and finish all the way through L. Keep adding those groups of dots as you finish each problem. You may continue sections 1 and 2. Good, and you can fill in your dots. Good dots. Good. You've done 3, now go on to 4. Good. Yes. Good. So what you're going to do is you're going to put a dot in each row across. So you're going to put a dot in each row across. Put a dot for each row across. You've got the first 2 done, but go on to the third row. So put a dot in every box across. Good. Good job filling in those dots for every row across. Good. Good. So you can fill 5 equals 20. 5. I'm going to start. You give me the answer. Letter D, 3 times 5 equals?
15.
15 is correct. Letter E, 4 times 5 equals?
20.
20. Letter F, 5 times 5 equals?
25.
25. Letter G, 6 times 5 equals?
30.
30. Letter H, 7 times 5 equals?
35.
35. Letter I, 8 times 5 equals?
40.
40. Letter J, 9 times 5 equals?
45.
45. Letter K, 10 times 5 equals?
50.
Letter L, 11 times 5 equals?
55.
55. Letter M, 12 times 5 equals?
60.
60 is correct. Go ahead and look at number 3. For this section, we're going to follow the signs, then check the answers. Look at letter A. Remember, when you solve the problem, you add down, but to check, you add up. For letter B, when you subtract, you find your difference. Then, to check, you're going to take your subtrahend and your difference and add them together. Then the minuend and that answer should match. Go ahead and solve letter A and B. Work letter A on the chalkboard. You can add it just down. You don't need to check it. Madison, will you work letter number 2 on the chalkboard? You can solve it, but you don't need to check it. Presley, will you turn on the lights for us? Is correct. Ready? 19.
6.
6 plus 6 is?
12.
12 plus 9 is?
24. 21.
21 is correct. So we'll have our 1, and then I'll 2 at the bottom. Let's continue with 2 plus 1 is?
3.
3 plus 3 is?
6.
6 plus 5 is?
11.
11 plus 0 is?
11.
11. So then we'll carry the 1 to the bottom. 1 plus 8 is?
9.
9 plus 7 is?
16.
16 plus 1 is?
17.
17 plus 2 is?
19.
19. So when we add in that final comma, the number is 1,911. Do the answers match? Anna?
No.
No. So what do we need to do? We're going to erase the bottom number and add down to see if it is correct. If this answer is correct, ready? Starting with 9 plus 6 is?
15.
15 plus 2 is?
17.
17 plus 4 is?
21.
21. So then we'll add the 2 to the top. 2 plus 0 is?
2.
2 plus 5 is?
7.
7 plus 3 is?
10.
10 plus 1 is?
11.
11. So then we'll add our 2 to the top. 2 plus 2 is?
4.
4 plus 1 is?
5.
5 plus 7 is?
9. 12.
12 plus 8 is?
20.
20. So again, our answers don't match. So let's add that last column again. 2 plus 2 is?
4.
4 plus 1 is?
5.
5 plus 7 is?
12.
12. And then 12 plus 8 is?
20.
20. So let's take a look at our answer here, because somehow we don't have the answers finished and correct. So 6 plus 9 is 15, and then 15 plus 2 is 17, plus 4 is 21. So we have our 1, carry our 2. Let's add this next column together. 2 plus 0 plus 5 is?
7.
7 plus 3 is?
11. 10.
10 plus 1 is? 11. So we shouldn't have carried a 2 to the top. We should have just carried that 1 to the top, which is where our mistake occurred right there. Now we can finish adding it. 1 plus 2 is?
3.
3 plus 1 is?
4.
Plus 7 is?
11.
11 plus 18. Now we can add in our comma, 1, 2, 3, comma, and now our numbers match and our answer checks. But do you see how that check helped us? That's the purpose of checking, is to find that mistake. Now let's look at our subtraction problem. We've solved it, but now we're going to check it. So we do the line, and then we do the opposite, which is adding. 8 plus 3 is? 11. So then we'll add the 1 to the top. 1 plus 6 is?
7.
Good, 7. Then we have 1 plus 2 is? 3. So we have 371. The top answer is 371. So our problem is correct. It does check. Now let's take a look at the back side of this page and take a look at the top. There you see a pictograph. The title of the pictograph says ice cream cone sold. There's on the right side, on the left side, the different labels for the days of the week. Find Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. Then along the bottom, each cone, that picture, represents how many ice cream cones? Una?
5.
So our number is 5. That's our scale. Now look at Wednesday. Count by 5s. How many ice cream cones were sold on Wednesday? Jackson?
25.
Yes, 25 is correct. Look at Thursday. Count by 5s. How many ice cream cones were sold on Thursday? Emily?
35.
35 is correct. Count by 5s for Friday. How many ice cream cones were sold on Friday, students watching? And Lexi?
50.
Yes. Now let's look at Saturday. How many ice cream cones were sold on Saturday, Adriana?
60.
Yes, that is correct. Now let's take a look at some of these questions for section 4. Answer these questions about the pictograph. Letter A, what is the title? Arthur?
Ice cream cone sold.
You've got it. Now notice, because it is a title, every letter is capitalized. So go ahead and write the title. Make sure every letter is capitalized for those words because it is a title, and you can write that title on the line. Now let's look at letter B. How many ice cream cones does each picture stand for, Presley?
5.
5 is correct. Letter C. How many ice cream cones were sold on Friday? Lexi?
50.
50 is correct. Letter D. How many more cones were sold on Saturday than on Friday? So count the number of cones that were added more, and then count by 5s. And how many would that be, Carson?
10.
10. Exactly correct. Now, from just looking at the pictures, which day were the most cones sold on? Una?
Saturday.
Yes. Which day were there the fewest cones? Caden?
Wednesday.
Wednesday is correct. Now that we're all hungry for ice cream, we should take a trip to the ice cream store. Let's look at number 5. Follow the signs. Watch carefully whether you're going to add, subtract, or multiply. Go on and do section 5, A through H. You may begin working. Really see the 3. For number 3, our answer should be 9. For number 4, or letter D, our answer should be 8. For letter E, if you finish, give me a big smile. What answer did you get, Emily?
2,436.
Good, 2,436. For letter F, if you finish, smile and give me your answer, Lexi.
2,238.
That is correct. For letter G, if you finished your problem, smile with your answer. All right, I'll give you a couple more minutes. You can go ahead and finish letter G and letter H. Let's check these answers. So for letter G, smile if you were able to finish. What answer did you get, Aiden? How about Morgan?
3,316.
Yes, 3,316. And for the last one, you should have gotten 2,304. Smile if you have that answer. Put a smile at letter H if you are correct. Look at the fun fact. The waffle cone became popular at the 1904 World's Fair in St. Louis, Missouri. So aren't we thankful for that invention? Now let's take a look at a brain booster. I want you to think through. You don't need to look at your paper. Just look at me at the chalkboard. Listen as I read. On Thursday night, Carson's family arrived in Washington, D.C. for a family vacation. If it took his family 3 days to drive from their home to Washington, D.C., on what day did they leave? So think backwards 3 days before. What day would that be? Caden?
Monday. Tuesday.
Tuesday. The third day is the day that they arrived. So they left on Tuesday. They traveled all day Tuesday, all day Wednesday. Then they got there on the third day on Thursday. Now, if the day that they left was July 18th, what day would that Thursday be? Emily?
July 21st.
Not 21st, but?
20th.
20th, exactly. So the Wednesday would be the 19th, and then the Thursday would be the 20th. Students watching, continue to practice those facts from the 5 multiplication family so that you'll be ready for our next lesson.